Are you ever just done with a color? I think for me, that color is definitely brown. I'm not sure why brown is so prevalent in RVs. I'm guessing it's like they like the earthy tones, or I mean, it's been that way, I feel like, for decades, maybe centuries. I don't know. Anyway, we are ready to make a change.
Yes, we want some color. We want to make this our own. We want to brighten it up. We're going to paint white. We're going to bring in some pops of color. So we're excited to change this place up.
Yeah, you need to make it your own a little bit. We just took 3 years to think about how we wanted to do it, and now we're pretty solid. Actually, no, we changed our mind last night, but otherwise, we're pretty solid. There's one challenge though. These cabinets are really shiny surfaces, and typically paint doesn't stick to that very well. So there's a whole process that you have to follow to make sure that the paint's gonna stick there properly, and it's not gonna peel later. And then of course you've got a lot of vibration, so if you miss one little thing, it's definitely gonna vibrate and it's gonna peel off and it's gonna look terrible. So we've been watching a lot of YouTube videos.
Talking with a lot of our friends, finding out what did they do that worked, what didn't work. So we're gonna show you what we're doing here, and hopefully you can learn from our mistakes, because I'm sure we're gonna make them.
We will not make any mistakes, so you can't learn from that, but you could learn from our success story.
There you go.
Color right here we're working on getting rid of, and that's brown. There's a lot of brown in here, so we're working on that, and we're trying to be smart in this process because we still have to live in the house, so we can't just take everything out, then clean it, then paint it, and put it all back in. We have to do one piece at a time. So today the goal is to get all of these edges, what do we call those? Borders. Trim, the borders. We're gonna get that outside, wiped down, painted, hopefully final coat, so tomorrow morning we can put it back, and then we'll go to this over here, this cabinets, get this whole area done, and then this set of cabinets right here. So a bit of a process, but you know, it's how it happens when you live in it. You have to be careful because it can stress you out and your family when you can't get to stuff. There's not a lot of room to store, and you never know what the weather's gonna do. So we're being smart about it, and today is border day. Here we go. We have our white base coat called Cabinet Coat, Trim and Cabinet and Animal. Esmalte para marcos y cabinets. If you're Spanish, you probably hate what I just said. But this is the plan. We're gonna put this on. But now, the challenge is getting this thing off. I think it's like a ring to ship, maybe? Okay, now I'm gonna shake this up. Shake it up a little bit in here. There's all kinds of ways you can do. This is called the floppy fish. Can you see the whole thing? You gotta see like this is the floppy fish, okay? This is like the log roll. You have to be pretty muscular to do this one. And then you've got like the samba, where you just shake it like a shaker. And the key is don't drop it on your foot. Picked the coldest, windiest day of this year so far to do this outside. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, yesterday was like calm and perfect, and now it is crazy. So that's always fun. So step one here, we're gonna actually remove these little nails. I'm gonna pull those out with a pair of pliers. We're gonna actually cut and then kind of tap. If you pull them through, then on the other side it can pull and make a little hole, which is fine. You can always putty that up. Okay, then Michelle is going to work with the KRUD cutter, and she is going to, oh, hold on, got a leaf from my eyeball. There we go, par for the course. Michelle is going to wipe down this with the KRUD cutter. She's going to spray it, and we got to let it sit for...
It just says for a few moments.
We're going to test it out.
So stand for a few minutes before drying for older, more difficult jobs.
Okay, so let's say 5 minutes. We'll try 5 minutes.
Okay.
But we definitely wanted to kind of pull the varnish off a little bit.
Are we sanding it?
Yeah, we're going to sand first, then spray that to kind of get that off, and that way it'll definitely stick.
Okay.
So I'm thinking I'm going to pull these off first, and then I'll pull nails out while you're wiping
I'll sand it
and
first.
sanding.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. good.
Oh, wait.
It's better to do more coats than to be thick.
You got it.
Okay.
Okay, the paint's going on right now, and we were just talking about it. You gotta make sure that you don't put too thick of a coat to begin with, because then you get bumps or runs or real heavy textures, and that's not what we're going for. So we're gonna go for more of a thinner first layer, and then if we need to do another coat or another coat after that, not a big deal. I mean, it's a little more time, but in the end, it's gonna look so much better to have just a smooth surface and not weird textures. That's the goal.
All right.
And it should work.
Should. There you go. So you see first coat, just thin, you can still see through it, not a big deal. There you go. And you want to go over the paint the fewest number of times as possible. So really, if you can do 1, 2, then that's good. Go to the next thing, redip. It is so cold out here. Oh my word. This is crazy that this would be the day that it would just all of a sudden turn cold in Florida overnight prior to our project. Crazy. But hey, we are on the 3rd white coat here, and I'm afraid we're gonna have to do a 4th. Definitely seeing some texture still in here, and it's drying right now, so we might see that it changes. But right now, you can really see a lot of streaks, and it's a little darker than I'd like it to be. You know, you're not really coating as well. But again, it might be because it's wet, so we'll let it dry and see. But, I mean, definitely a labor of love here. 4 coats of this white is pretty extreme. One problem I'm having is that it's drying really quick as I'm putting it on. So it's leaving little streaks. Essentially, the paint is drying, and then I'm dragging that dry paint across. So I'm trying to go a little bit thinner to help that out. I don't know if it's working, but I think 4 coats are gonna have to be the way on these. All right, Michelle's finishing up the end caps. I've got the final coat on the other border pieces outside here underneath our handy-dandy purple top tint. Not sure how we got that. I'll show you what that looks like, but I think that's good. So that's 4 coats in the end, and that turned out good. Let's take a look over here. Oh yeah, you can see that really ironed out. Took all those streaks out. I mean, there's still just a hint on some of these, so I don't know if I'm gonna redo them or not. I don't know if it's gonna be worth it. I mean, at the end of the day, it is gonna be kind of blended in with the other things in the room. There's gonna be a brown couch. There's still gonna be other colors. So I'm not super concerned, but I think it turned out really good. Very few scratches or issues. There's a couple little things you can see because it was cold outside. The paint started to dry really quick, and then we ended up dragging it a little bit on some of these parts. So in hindsight, if we were in warmer weather with some sun, that would have been good, but the cold weather with the wind made the paint really thick, and then it would dry as you're going. So once you went back the second time, it had already dried the top and it would smear. So we fixed most of that, but there's a couple pieces here that would be really great if they didn't look like that. But overall, I don't think you'll notice it if you hadn't poured it out. So 4 coats, there you have it. 4 coats with the wiping down and the sanding and everything too. Let's touch that up.
So you have to touch that up.
Yes. Yeah.
Figure that would probably happen.
Yeah, it's going pretty good now, that one. Okay, I'm putting a pilot hole in this really flimsy particle board so that when I put the screw in, it doesn't split it. And hopefully it'll sink the head a little bit more too so I can hide it. And I'm hoping to not damage it because I don't want to repaint this stuff. Alright, I'm ready. So the one We did it! 3 boards up, yeah! Okay. I like it like that. Gives it character. People really know what went into it. Alright, let's continue on.